We're not against rap. We're not against rappers. But we are against those.
Something big about to happen. I hear the beat tapping.
We some fly rhyming felines rapping on the track. Better yet, grab a gat, cause we hot like Enzo. Doors closed, windows up, cause that's the way we like to ride. Windy City hitting. Check mic 1 2 1 2. We live, baby. Hey Chicago, welcome back to Speak Your Mind Radio, Season 11, Episode 361. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Mzhiphop, aka Queen Star. And thank you guys for listening today. I appreciate you. Now, in this program, I will be discussing the story of Brittney Griner's release for a one-on-one prison swap from Russia jail and the hateful comments she received after being sentenced 9 years. But first, who is Brittney Griner? Brittney Yvette Griner is an American professional basketball player for the Phoenix Mercury of the Women's NBA. She also played college ball for the Baylor Lady Bears in Texas. What happened to Brittney Griner? Brittney was serving a 9-year prison sentence since February 2022 on charges of bringing a vape cartridge with a small amount of cannabis oil into the country of Russia. And Russia has very harsh drug laws, y'all, with zero exceptions for cannabis. That's crazy. This was all going on during the Russian invasion of Ukraine. And Brittney was in Russia returning to finish her overseas season when she was arrested and detained for 294 days. Brittney's maximum sentence was up to 10 years. So in March, Brittney's detention was extended till May for further investigation. And they investigated for a really, really long time. The U.S. was seeking a way to return her back home and negotiate her release, rather than waiting for the Russian case to come to a conclusion. So in May, Russian media stated that Brittney Griner may be a fair trade for a convicted Russian arms dealer by the name of Viktor Bout, a man who is serving a 25-year sentence here in the United States for terrorism. His nickname? The Merchant of Death. He ran an international arms trafficking network and had a mean reputation for smuggling anything, anywhere, and anytime. So after spending almost 10 months in jail, Brittney Griner was released for a one-on-one prison swap with Viktor Bout. And y'all, I'm just happy the girl's home. Like, I'm so happy she's home. So let's go back up the timeline leading up to Brittney Griner's arrest. So back in 2020, Brittney Griner told the Arizona Republic she doesn't believe the national anthem should be played before the WNBA games and would not be on the floor if it was. She made those comments at a teleconference just a couple of days in Florida after opening the game at the IMG Academy. The ladies were not present on the floor, protesting the rights of victims of police brutality, Black Lives Matter, and honoring our sister, Breonna Taylor. Say her name. Brittney Griner said, "I honestly feel we should not play the national anthem during our season." She says, "I think we should take that much of a stand. I don't mean that in any disrespect to our country. My dad was a Vietnam and a law officer for 30 years. I wanted to be a cop before basketball. I do have pride for my country." Brittney Griner also says, "I'm going to protest regardless, and I'm not going to be out there for the national anthem. If the league continues to want to play it, that's fine. It will be all season long. I'll not be out there. I feel like more are going to probably do the same thing. I can only speak for myself. Now at the Olympics, I understand. You're playing for your country at that point. She goes on to say this: I'm glad I'm able to look to my left and to my right and my sisters and see we're all together fighting. Soon after arrest in Russia, the trolls came out to play, honey, unable to release the statement that she had said 2 years earlier about not having a national anthem played before the WNBA games. Twitter trolls chimed in saying disrespectful and disgusting things like, on a brighter note, Brittney Griner won't have to endure our national anthem for 9 whole years. What a win for her. Or, do you think Brittney Griner still hates the national anthem? Another troll said, wonder if Brittney Griner stands or takes a knee for the Russian national anthem every morning in her jail cell. That comment brings me even further back. Now, you're talking about taking a knee, huh? Okay. So when NFL player Colin Kaepernick began his protest in 2016 by first sitting during the national anthem and later by kneeling when the song was being played, Kaepernick said, I'm not going to stand up to show pride in the flag for a country that oppresses Black people and people of color. Not to get off subject, y'all, however, or whatever, but what people fail to remember is the importance of having all citizens of this country be represented and understood. Former Special Forces soldier and Seattle Seahawks player Nate Boyer wrote an open letter to Colin Kaepernick in 2016, and Kaepernick's publicist contacted Nate Boyer back to set up a one-on-one in-person meeting. And so they wanted to discuss his decision about, sitting during the national anthem. After having a very detailed conversation and listening and asking one another questions, they came to the conclusion that people will not understand, and that's the importance of being heard and having respect for one another, for having different viewpoints. Crazy, because Nate wasn't ready, nor was he prepared for the next question Colin had to ask, and that was this: what do you think I can do besides sit during the song, but will still help me bring my point across? This conversation the answer inspired Kaepernick to kneel instead of stand, and even asked Nate would he kneel with him. He respectfully said no, because I have certain obligations to the flag that reside deeply within me. However, I respect you and will stand next to you as you kneel too, and serve your obligations as well. Man, I thought that was so beautiful. Like, how can you disagree and still, I just don't understand. How can you disagree with the two coming together from two different backgrounds? They heard each other, they listened to each other, and they came to an agreement to respect each other. So, in the words of Rodney King, can't we all just get along? This is why I'm so happy that Brittney Griner is finally home, because of the backlash she endured before and after her 9-year sentence in Russia. It's so imperative we study our history and remember the ones who stood up long before us, because right after Colin Kaepernick kneeling, the George Floyd incident happened with a cop kneeling on the back of his neck, causing him to die unnecessarily. We have to hold things like that to our heart and remember while we stand up for our rights and bring light to these situations at hand. So going back to Brittney Griner and the disrespectful things people had to say, like she deserved that and, this, that, and the third. You guys have to really come together as a people and understand one another. Have a conversation. You don't have to agree with the other person, but you can agree to disagree. You can leave the room, leave the table with respect for one another. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Speak Your Mind Radio. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Queen Star, aka Miss Hip Hop. Peace.